From Wall Street to Main Street, this is Lalate.
It's a big evening here on Evenings LA with incredible breaking news you're going to hear for the first time in this recording about your fourth stimulus check update of 2021 today. We'll be going over the breaking news and how much those Democrats want you to have in that monthly stimulus check of the fourth stimulus package. When, where, and all the incredible details are covered in this video. Then we cut to fifth stimulus that raises your benefits up lifetime, and we have breaking news from the Fed Chair Jay Powell indicating how high those benefits will go. It's all wonderful news, in addition to a fifth stimulus check. Then we cut to the big money across the board that you can get right now, thousands of dollars. And new on Evenings LA minutes ago, the eviction moratorium is set to be expanded and extended. I'll have the breaking news about that. And new breaking news about student loan debt forgiveness just happening minutes ago. OMG. And big surprises about the ending of FPUC in some states. I have those details as well. It's a big night with a lot of breaking news, I promise you, across the board. I'm here, you're here. Let's get to the details, starting right here, right now, on Evenings LA. Congratulations. You made it to the middle of the week. Halfway to the weekend. That's all that matters, is it? Of course, that's all that matters. You made it over the hump. How's the weather where you are? It has been relatively dark here and cooler, which was fine. It got very sunny in the middle of one of the videos today, but then it's been darker and cooler, which I'm loving. How's the weather where you are, where you're watching from? Jump in the live chat right now and tell me where you're watching from and how's the weather on this Wednesday evening of Evenings LA. Boy, exciting details, a lot of breaking news I got for you tonight. Fourth stimulus heats up with another stimulus check, monthly stimulus check in the fourth stimulus package. I'll be going over the breaking news, what you need to know, and details about the voting process and a call on the vote. The vote has been calling, and we'll be going through all the steps that you need to know as the voting has commenced. Then we heat up with this stimulus. We're raising up of your benefits lifetime, and the applying of new benchmark, and why Jay Powell's comments, head of the Federal Reserve, were absolutely incredible. Those breaking news and the fifth stimulus check, oh my goodness. We'll also be cutting to the big money you can get now. Thousands of dollars of Qs continue to get. And for the first time in Evenings LA, breaking news about the eviction moratorium, about student loan debt forgiveness, and also about FPUC. It's a big night, and this is LA, the only 24-hour-a-day, 7 days a week financial news channel in America, breaking all the rules and all the details across the board. Did I say rules? I meant records, not breaking the rules. 400,000 subscribers in 1 year, a YouTube record. Hit that subscribe button right now. I want you part of this family. Subscribe right now. Thank you for making yesterday one of our biggest days of subscriber growth in several weeks, and it beat the day before. So subscribe right now. 400,000 subscribers in 1 year, a YouTube record. Next, like this video and consider becoming a member. All right, let's get into the great details. Starting with first, that monthly stimulus check. How much those Democrats want you to have and when they want you to have it. Let's compare the House bill and the Senate proposal right off the bat. They both had a monthly stimulus check, but they're slightly different based upon whether you're looking at the Senate or the House. And that's what we're going to do right now. House, pandemic plus 1 year monthly checks. Okay, senators' checks from July to December. Less checks, obviously, with the senators. Let's look at the monthly payouts then. House, $1,000. After the first month, $2,000. Senators, unknown monthly, but word on the street is it's this. Wow, now that's deliciousness. $2,000 over 6 months. $12,000 per person. $1,400 a month over 6 months. $8,400 a person. That is deliciousness right there. Now let's go over something that we need to know, which is namely this. Legislators may contend the pandemic's over. Yeah, well, if they do, that would reduce the House bill to just 1 year of checks. So let's compare that with the Senate. But first, if you're in the live chat just after 5 o'clock, get ready to vote House or Senate and tell me where you're tuning in from and how's the weather. If they reduce that House bill to just 12 months of checks, that would be $13,000 from the House, Compare that to the Senate over 6 months and this. I think you have an opinion. Jump in the live chat right now and voice your opinion. Senate or House, Senate or House. Tell me where you're tuning in from. And how's the weather? Vote right now, Senate or House. Well, who gets this fourth stimulus check? You do. The Democrats represent they would give a fourth stimulus check to everyone who got a third stimulus check. So single individual, 75,000 or less, you get a fourth stimulus check from those Democrats. The Democrats want to give a fourth stimulus check, double it, to a married couple, 150,000 or less. Family of four, Democrats want you to have a fourth stimulus check, quadruple it. And if you're on benefits, SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, veterans benefits, survivor benefits, casino benefits, I don't know about that one. Democrats would be giving you a fourth stimulus check. The fourth stimulus check is not income, so it's not taxable. And the fourth stimulus check comes monthly. It doesn't come in waves. So if you're at the discotheque tonight and you see the stimulus check doing the Vogue, say, hi, check, how you doing? Do people still dance like that? Rude check didn't wave back at me, unless that was just a Vogue move. Did the check wave back at me, or was that just a Vogue move? I don't know. Rude check, it's not a check that can't wave. It's not a waveable check, but maybe you can still do the Vogue moves. There you go. That's your fourth stimulus check. The Democrats, who probably, I don't know if they can dance that well, they promised that the fourth stimulus check would go out in the month of July for the month of July, and in the month of August for the month of August. The fourth stimulus check would be called for a final vote by July 4th. The Democrats have represented no less than like 1,000 times quoting that same sentence by them from the exact mouth. So there you go. That is your first of 3 updates of that fourth stimulus check of 2021 in this recording. But coming up in the second part, we're going to go over the breaking news about what calling the vote means, what the different parts of the bills that they're voting on. I'm going to be breaking that all down for the first time you're going to see on Evenings LA. But first, let's get to a preview of the second half of this video. It's for stimulus, and it's heating up with deliciousness. As Jay Powell, the head of the Federal Reserve, said, wonderful comments this week, yesterday, that signals that fourth stimulus is needed, that fifth stimulus is needed, and that fifth stimulus could see a major lift in December. Oh my goodness, it's wonderful news. Stay with me to the very end of this. Stay with me to the second part of this video for that exciting details. But first, let's get some money. Let's get some money. It's Wednesday. You made it over the hump. Time to get some money. And congratulations. Congratulations are in store for that one viewer who got $12,000 of rent yesterday, to Art, who got 2 items. He got internet and rent. And to Jennifer, whose kids separately got rent as well. You're killing it. And we're going to go over all those details right now. So get a pen and paper ready. And if it must be Crayola crown, make sure it matches the host shirt, which matches the set, which matches the flowers. I'm going to go over that big money you can get right now. It's rent, it's utilities, it's mortgage assistance, and it's homeowners utilities. This is what I do. I get people money, and you are killing it. In spring of last year, I got viewers of $25 million of EIDL loans to save their businesses, their homes, and their employees' homes. And then in fall 2020, it was like now, where we were waiting for fourth stimulus, and we needed money. So I got viewers money for second stimulus, a lot of money. Rent and utilities. I got Tyrone $15,000 for his family in Boston, family of 4. And I continue to give people big money. Now is the time to get more money right now. So get that pen and paper ready. We're going to start with rent. Rent's a lot of money. It's about $5,000, about 4 to 6 months of rent. So go get it. I'm going to show you where you get it. Each place has different eligibility. So if one says no, don't worry, reach out to the next. All right, you're ready? Here we go. You're going to reach out to 6 places. You're going to reach out to your city hall, your city housing authority, your county hall, your county housing authority, your state hall, your state housing authority. Keywords you're going to say are rent assistance because of COVID, or mortgage assistance because of COVID. You're not going to say words they don't know, like stimulus or Nancy's fan club. What? Yeah, this is not aware of that. I've never heard of it. Don't know. Never seen it. Never heard it. That must not exist. So you're not going to say words they don't know. And there you go. Congratulations to Tim and Linda who got this big pot of money, but I got more money for you right now, and it's money for Snap. Snap is great, and we had one viewer who got $5,000 last week. The week before, another viewer got $6,000 to $7,000. If you got in a penny from this channel, or 100 pennies, or 200 pennies, jump in the live chat right now, because every time that we see someone else, not only does it inspire me, but inspires someone else to say, you know what? That viewer just got $5,000. I'm going to go get 5,000. I need 5,000. I'm going to get money just like that viewer got. So jump in the live chat because you're inspiring and helping other people. And what is this big pot of money? It is Snap. Glenn got it for herself, her son, and her mom. Gail got it. And how do you get it? Department of Agriculture. You reach out to Department of Agriculture. That's what that viewer got, 5, and the other viewer 6, and that other viewer got 7. How much does it pay? Well, family of 4 in Hawaii gets now upwards of $16,000 a year for family of 4 in Hawaii. Wow. Why so much money? Because of 2 wonderful executive orders, one from Biden, one from Trump, that raise your benefits up 15% between now and December. So go get it. You're killing it. I'm killing it. Everyone's killing it. The check on the dance floor, not really killing it. Just sort of looks like, I don't know. Should have come by debit card. Debit card would have danced better. It's just like a stiff card. So there you go. That is the exciting news. But boy, you're killing it. We're only 11 minutes of this video. I got more money for you right now. And it's $5,000 for this money coming back from your states. The federal government has identified states as overpaying you unemployment assistance due to computer error, and then asking you to return it back, which you did. Well, the federal government said, no, that was your money to keep, their computer to fix. So the federal government has ordered the states to return the money back to you. One viewer got $5,000 for this. So how do you get the money? It'll come by direct deposit to the account you have on file with your state. How do you track the money? Well, call up your state and ask them where your money is for that computer error that they had, and can they track it with a computer that actually works? And there you go. And finally, our last pot of money. It's that refund check back from IRS. Michael got it. Todd got it. Margaret got it. If you got it as well, jump in the live chat and tell all the viewers because it inspires them. How much is it? When you're going to get it? How do you track it? Let's go over all the details. First, how much money is it? It's a lot. So let's say you had $9,000 of total unemployment benefits, your $5,000 tax bill, of which $4,000 was your taxes on the unemployment benefits, you're getting back $4,000. Can you when are you getting it? This month. Can you where? Direct deposit, otherwise in the mail. And can you track it? Yes. Go to irs.gov, set up a username and password, and go in there and do a transcript search. About 70% of the time, it works. It will reveal stuff you were surprised to have actually seen. It will reveal the tax return you filed, the taxes you paid. It will reveal really what is that color of hair that Nancy has. And it'll reveal what Mitch puts to season his lobsters. And finally, it'll reveal your check coming back from IRS. And there you go. What's better than that? The second of your 4th stimulus check updated 2021. But before I go into that, I want to go over some big breaking news, which is the following. One, we're hearing from CDC just minutes ago that they will likely extend the eviction moratorium, the federal eviction moratorium, for an additional month. It's set to expire by June 30th. They're thinking of extending it for another month. No formal determination yet, but it looks pretty good. Number 2, the student loan debt forgiveness. That $50,000 never happened because the president said he's still looking into it, never made a determination. But guess what Elizabeth Warren's doing? She's currently blocking the number 3 pick from the White House at Education, Department of Education. She says it's not because of student loan debt forgiveness. Jump in the comments whether you think it is or isn't. I think it is. And she says it's because she doesn't like certain things that are separate and apart from student loan that has to do with other items. Now, a lot of the freezes on the student loan debt repayment are still there, meaning you don't have to repay it yet, but there's still a battle about how to lift those freezes as well. Finally, a new report out minutes ago that says the lifting or the ending of FPUC in some states did not cause people to get back to work, that they actually were not looking for jobs after they lost their FPUC. Interesting. So the report basically says that cutting off FPUC does not help get people back to work. It made no impact whatsoever. Really interesting, but it's just a report. All right, let's get to forced stimulus. And boy, some exciting details you're going to see for the first time in this broadcast. I haven't been breaking down too much the nuances of a reconciliation process because it's a little bit overwhelming, but a lot of people have been asking for it, so I'm going to do it right now. The reconciliation starts with the procedural bill. It's actually a complete bill, the procedural bill, which basically says how are they going to do the recon. They have to vote on that first, and then they have to vote on the substantive bill. So the procedural bill is much of nothing, but they have to vote on it first. They can be voting on the procedural bill while they're still marking up the substantive items that will be going into the substantive bill. Let's put the procedural bill aside because we understand that one. Let's turn now to the substantive bill. First thing you need to know is that every 5 hours or 10 hours, there's a negative comment or a sort of trollish comment or just an actual very nice viewer that's confused and says, not in the bill. Let's make very clear, there is no substantive bill done yet. So anyone that ever says in the bill, we did this under second stimulus. That's why we have an emoji call. There's no bill yet. There's no bill yet. There's no bill yet. There's no law yet. So there is no substantive bill yet. So anyone that says it's not in the bill, it's in the bill, when the bill, there is no bill yet. So let's go over what it takes to make a bill in recon. And we're talking about the substantive bill. And this is something I'm explaining for the first time on this broadcast. Because of the stimulus package, there are items in the stimulus package that concern different House subcommittees. Taxes is one subcommittee. Labor is another department. Infrastructure is another department. Stimulus checks is House Ways and Means Committee. So they have different subdivisions of the House subcommittees that oversee different parts of every stimulus package. So what do those subcommittees do? They're sent over the task to take care of that part of the bill. And they write their pages, however many pages it is, 100 pages or 50 pages or 200 pages, that they covers their subjects. House Ways and Means covers stimulus checks and unemployment benefits. So they write that up and that becomes their pages of what would eventually be the full bill. So you may, for example, let's say, for example, they have 10 subcommittees with 100 pages and it makes a 1,000-page bill because after each of those House subcommittees have finished what they're finished, they called for a vote in the House subcommittees. The House subcommittees approve it at that House subcommittee, and then they all get combined into one big bill. We don't have a big bill yet from the House. We don't even have the subcommittees parts of the bill yet. What we do have is marking up the bill. And so let me explain that expression. Marking up the bill is referring to the subcommittees marking up their part of the total bill. So they may only have 100 pages of the total bill. They're marking up their 100 pages of the substantive bill. At the same time they can be voting on the procedural bill because the procedural bill has nothing to do with them marking up the substantive bill. So that's important to understand. Bernie Sanders last Sunday said, I don't have the bill yet. Now he can be referring to two different things. He can be referring to both the subcommittee's draft of the 100 pages, or he could be referring to the total bill. I mean, it's much of the same. We don't have the total House bill until the total House bill is voted upon. And that total House bill then gets changed thereafter when it lands in the Senate. So for everyone that says not in the bill, there is no bill. It's like it's someone that's describing oxygen to say, I see a monument over there. There's no monument over there. It's oxygen. It hasn't been for it's like there's a sandcastle on the beach, and there's sand on the beach. So I see a sandcastle. It's just sand on the beach. It hasn't been formulated as a sandcastle yet. Well, it will be a sandcastle. So that's what's important for you to know. The voting process. It's important to know that the voting process commences with the procedural items. And the procedural items can go very fast. Let's go over how we got to the spot with Chuck. Chuck Schumer, the Friday before Memorial Day weekend, confirmed that the final vote would be by July 4th, would be passed on July 4th, and would be done with an approval by July 4th. Now, let me make very clear. In a 30-minute video, I can't repeat everything, but Chuck Schumer's mentioned that date about 1,000 times, and Nancy Pelosi has mentioned that date about 1,000 times, and the White House has mentioned that date about 1,000 times. Now, how do we get to that great spot? From Jalapal. Jalapal had written Chuck a letter saying, Chuck called the vote on the recon. And that letter was co-signed by 12 House Democrats, who are among the 100-plus House Democrats who had written the president a letter saying, we're going to put monthly stimulus checks into the fourth stimulus package. Wow, now that's wonderful news. Can we top that? Yes, when about 7 House Democrats wrote the president a letter saying, we're going to be putting monthly stimulus checks into the fourth stimulus package. Well, guess what subcommittee they are in? The one I talked about earlier in this video. They're in the subcommittee that's responsible for writing the stimulus checks. They're not on the subcommittee that deals with education or something, or deals with, ice cream. They're in the subcommittee that does the stimulus checks. And they actually said they're going to be doing fourth stimulus checks. They did third stimulus checks. They did your second stimulus checks. And guess what's even more wonderful? They say they're going to be doing fifth stimulus checks as well. Wow, now that's wonderful news. Can we top that? We can't top that, as the President of the United States 2 weeks ago on Saturday anchored fourth stimulus to the finish line by getting a major agreement which anchors fourth stimulus right to the edge of the finish line because the provisions are no longer needed in the fourth stimulus package, making it easier to pass it. What happened? Let's explain. Fourth stimulus is paid for by raising the U.S. corporate tax rate. The U.S. corporate tax rate is a concern to the president because he said, if I raise the corporate tax rate, corporations may leave the United States and go to other countries where the rate is cheaper. So he reached out to those cheaper rate countries and said, hey, raise your rates. And they said, yeah, okay, we'll do it. To which the president said to his staffers, I like how this is going. Maybe we can send them a nice vinaigrette and some of Jill's favorite salad for Christmas and then meet them overseas and have them sign this into law. And if they do, then we'll remove the provisions from fourth stimulus because we won't need them. Well, the president did it. Biden did it 2 Saturdays ago. He surprised us all, and he went overseas and got them to agree upon it now, which anchors fourth stimulus to the edge of the finish line because now the provisions are no longer needed as to these international tax implications. They're in the international agreement, making it easier to pass the fourth stimulus for those Democrats. Which brings us to the final bit of news, which comes from Jalapal, who reacted to the whole situation last Friday. Jalapal explained to us that the president has 2 progressive policies that she's watching his back to get those progressive policies to the finish line in the bill, and that the president wants to watch her back for her progressive policy, which is stimulus checks. The progressive policy for Jalapal, stimulus checks. The progressive policy for the president, climate and cares economy. 2 backs patting each other and watching each other's backs can't be any better than that. Wow, that's wonderful news. But can we get better than that? We can. And it's the third part of your fourth stimulus check update of 2021, which is coming up right after this commercial break with more breaking news you're going to hear for the first time in this video. We'll also be cutting to fifth stimulus as Jay Powell has comments that impact both fourth and fifth stimulus. But there's something even better than that. The volunteers. The volunteers embody the true purple power spirit of this channel. Earlier today, one of the prior volunteers reached out to me and said that she still has people sending her messages thanking you for everything that she had done, thanking her for everything that she had done. Really, really wonderful spirit. How do you reach out to the volunteers? Where are they? If you open this description, go down in the description of this video, you'll see the volunteers at the community page. You'll see an emoji of a house, and then it'll say community page. Click the link, and it'll send you over to a page, news.lalate.com/community. There, lower on the page, under some kitty cats pictures, is the volunteers. They're separated from Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. If you need help getting rent, utilities, mortgage, or SNAP, or internet, reach out to them and they'll help you. They embody the true purple power spirit. They're viewers helping viewers. That's what this channel is all about. But if you ask them to give you directions to Nancy's hairstylist, they will not know that. And nor will they know how to make Mitch's lobster base. And with that, I'll see you in just 10 seconds with first a little bit about the community page. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.lalate.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join Lalate Daily for the excitement of the new Lalate live daily. The excitement starts on mornings Lalate at 9 a.m. Home Lalate returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons Lalate at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica. on Lalate. And the excitement continues right now on Evenings LA with big news you're hearing for the first time on this Evenings LA broadcast about your fourth stimulus and fifth stimulus, direct from Santa Monica. How's the weather? If you're just joining me in this extended Evenings LA broadcast, how's the weather? Jump in the live chat and comment right now. But first, subscribe. For 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record. I want you part of this family. Hit that subscribe button right now. Thank you for helping yesterday be our biggest subscriber growth day in a long time. Also, like this video, 3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. Stay with this video. 7 seconds after this video is over, it'll take you into Overnight's Crypto, our hit show. You don't have to do anything, just sit back and it'll take you automatically into there. And let's get right into fourth stimulus and fifth stimulus with some breaking news from Jay Powell, your head of the Federal Reserve chair, appeared on Capitol Hill for second time in a week, and they're actually third time in a week, and he had some comments which were wonderful about fourth and fifth stimulus. He said that based upon the way the economy is, the Federal Reserve is not changing course. What's its course? The Federal Reserve chair repeated again. The Fed will provide Fed stimulus to this economy all the way until January 2022. If you've been with this channel for over a year, I've been telling you that same date. He has not changed his position. His statement again was that this economy needs stimulus support all the way to January 2022. His comments were to the legislators who ultimately will vote on the fourth stimulus package. This is huge, wonderful news because fourth stimulus is now and fifth stimulus is in the fall, signaling that there's absolute reason to pass fourth and fifth stimulus. That was number one. Now let's go back to fifth stimulus and understand some of the details at issue. First, there will be another fifth stimulus check. That fifth stimulus check is for January 2022. Those Democratic legislators indicate that they're going to be putting it into the fifth stimulus package with the drafting starting in September, October, and the passage in about November, December. The president, meantime, has dedicated $1 billion to the Social Security Administration to ensure your checks go out on time going forward. This is fourth stimulus checks, fifth stimulus checks, and monthly benefits checks. It's after the debacle of third stimulus earlier this year, where people on benefits never got their checks on time. Which brings us now to fifth stimulus. And boy, Jay Powell absolutely gave us the most insanely great news you could ever want if you are on benefits. You understand that benefits now with this proposal under fifth stimulus would have a one-time lift, then a new benchmark. That benchmark is inflation, and that benchmark will be applied in December. And you have heard me talk about three issues. One, you have to hope they pass this bill. Two, you have to hope that the inflation rate does spike in December. And number three, you have to hope the inflation rate is relatively quite high. Guess what Jay Powell confirmed yesterday? The inflation rate will spike in December. Wow, now that is wonderful news. It's exactly what I've been reporting for several weeks. What Jay Powell said is that in December, you're going to see, one, reemployment of Americans at its best level in many months. Two, businesses making fortunes. Three, growth or GDP at its highest level. Fourth, inflation at its highest level. This is huge. So let's go into how this calculates for purposes of your fifth stimulus. And it's very wonderful, wonderful news. Fifth stimulus will involve first raising up of your benefits one time. There we go. And then removing the asset limit, adding inflationary benchmark, removing the marriage penalty, and removing the income exclusion. Let's go over how this calculates starting right now. First, you understand they're going to raise everyone's benefits up one time. So this is you if you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, veterans benefits, SSA, multiple benefits, casino benefits, or cappuccino benefits. Then they're going to remove, then they're going to apply a new benchmark. You understand there is a new benchmark, and you understand the benchmark is inflation. You also understand how a benchmark is applied. It's applied in December to determine whether to raise your rates up next year, your benefits up next year, or to keep them the same. Well, you also know that inflation is going to be hot in December. Now Jay Powell is basically saying inflation will be at its hottest spot for almost a generation in December. Oh my goodness, this is insanely great news. So the only thing that's left for us to wonder about is that they get this passed, first of all, and second, that the inflation rate is a beautiful big number. Let's say it is the 10% that Wall Street is thinking. 4% now, raising, and getting super hot in December. 10%, let's go over how that would work. Your benefits would be raised not just next year, 10%, but a lifetime. Because once your benefits raise up, they never step down. It's insanely wonderful news. Once your benefits step up, that is your benefits lifetime. What else is they going to do under that reform of the benefit system? Well, they're going to remove the asset cap dating back to the 1980s law. Says you can't have more than $3,000 in hand. Now they're going to remove it so you can have some stimulus checks in your hand and some Crayola crowns. They're going to remove the income cap dating back to a 1960s law that says you can't work. Now you'll be able to work and stay on benefits. And they're going to remove the marriage penalty. Love is going to win, and you're going to be able to marry your longtime love interest. Viewers like Rob and Sandy will no longer fear the marriage penalty. And there you go. Now, if you watch this video and you wondered, where did those people get all that money? $3,000, $4,000, $6,000, $7,000. Where did they get all this money? How did they know about all this money? They were members. Membership links are at the top of the chat in the pinned comment. I deliver to video viewers daily via the YouTube community page a breakdown of all the money you can get under third stimulus law and everything proposed under fourth and fifth stimulus. When third stimulus is passed, I told my viewers, you'll get a $1,400 stimulus check, sure. But I'm going to show you how to get $5,000, $10,000, $15,000. And they've been getting it. So consider becoming a member so you get the big money now. We're not tracking checks on this channel. You should not be tracking checks. What day am I getting that fourth stimulus check? No, you should be getting this $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 right now if you qualify, because it is application-based and it's wonderful and it's available right now. Consider becoming a member. Which brings us back to the final part of our fourth stimulus check updated 2021 starting right now. I'm going to go over personal messaging, then I'll be going over the voting time, then I'll be going over narratives, and finally Purple Power Push. Okay, so early in this video you understood, you were shown how the combination of subcommittee parts of a total bill, substantive, are combined. Let's go back over that again. So while they're voting on the procedural bill, which was very boring, subcommittees in the House are working on their subcommittee language for their issue that they concern. So House Ways and Means does stimulus checks and FPC. What Chuck Schumer does to save time is he does not have a Senate subcommittee work on this later on. He has the Senate subcommittees work with the House subcommittees at the same time, so that when the bill lands in the Senate, it doesn't go to subcommittees. One, to save time, and two, Schumer says he does that to not get ambushed because he thinks that the GOP could leave things in subcommittees and never get it out of there. So as the subcommittee is working on language of the 100+ pages that would be their part of the bill, another subcommittee is marking on their part of the bill. And each is marking up their parts of the bill, what will eventually become the bill. Finally, when every subcommittee is done with what they're doing, that subcommittee votes. And the subcommittee approves their 100 pages of what would become the full bill. Then when all the subcommittees are done voting, they then send it all to Nancy, and she combines it as one big bill, which is now 1,000 pages, for example. 10, 100 pages combined together is 1,000-page bill, and then send it to the House floor to call for a vote. The House members can amend it. And then it goes over to the Senate, and they can amend it. So here's what you need to know, is that, there's always wacko comments out there. But some viewers are viewers and subscribers and nice people, and they ask me these questions like the following. I heard it's not in the bill. That is one of the most ridiculous questions. And trust me, I've been hearing it since 2020. I heard it on second stimulus. I heard it on third stimulus. It's not in the bill. The bill isn't written yet. Who's going around running their mouth saying that things aren't in the bill? The bill ain't written. If the bill's written, can you tell Bernie Sanders? Because he went on broadcast news Sunday, I don't have the bill, because it doesn't exist. In fact, the fact that the bill doesn't exist is because they haven't voted on it. If there was a bill, there would have been 7 steps of voting already done. No one has written the bill, and they don't have the bill. So every time that someone tells me that there's a broadcast media in, I don't want to disparage any particular state, but some state out there, and someone on local news said it's not in the bill. They don't have the bill. You sound like a fool every time you say that in broadcast media. And you've been saying that since second stimulus, you're saying it since third stimulus. They said it in second stimulus, and on a continuing resolution, they did as well. Now, in continuing resolution, on a second stimulus in December, this is what they actually did. They said there's no stimulus in the December second stimulus in the continuing resolution. Well, they hadn't written it at that time. And guess what? We pushed to get something put into a draft. It was still not bill yet. It was a draft. We saw the draft, and they put in unemployment stimulus, and they didn't put in stimulus checks. So we pushed again. It was still draft. It wasn't bill yet. And then they said, okay, we'll put in a stimulus check. That shows you how the event unfolds. So let's go over the steps right now, so it's important for you to understand. There's no bill yet. And for everyone that repeats that silliness, it just, and trust me, I believe that there's probably local broadcasters across the middle of the West that absolutely have no idea what they're saying. They're just sounding like a bunch of fools. But let's go over the details starting right now. There is 9 voting steps. And the first 4 are boring because it's just procedural. They have nothing substantive at issue. It's step 5, 7, and 8 are the ones you need to watch. And that is where we're talking about the bill, not really the procedural bill. The procedural bill is just the procedural bill. All right, let's do steps 1 and 4, the procedural bill. House subcommittee votes on the procedural bill. House floor votes on the procedural bill. Step 2. Step 3, the Senate votes on the procedural bill. Step 4, the president signs the procedural bill. The tow truck is passed over the finish line. All right, the procedural bill's out the door. Let's go now do the substantive bill, which we're all concerned about. We're not concerned about the procedural bill. The substantive bill, House subcommittees all call a vote in their own House subcommittees on what they've been writing. It goes to a vote on those individual House subcommittees at their own. They all have their own voting. Each subcommittee has their own voting. That's step 5. And then they pass whatever they pass. The House Ways and Means Committee is the one that's tasked with the duty of doing stimulus checks. So they either put it in there or they don't put it in there. Then it goes to the House floor. All the bills combined together as one massive bill, or all the parts combined together as one massive bill. Step 6, the House votes on the massive bill. House members can amend it before they vote on it. Then steps 7 and 8, 2-day critical vote-a-rama. It's as though it's almost a restart, because at that point you do have a bill. At that point you have a House bill. But what I want you to know is that when that House bill lands in the Senate, it is literally almost a restart, because the senators can absolutely hack it apart. 3 possibilities. 1, the House bill has no stimulus checks in there. The senators can hack it apart and put it in there. Possibility number 2, the House bill has stimulus checks in there. The senators love it. They leave it alone. Or possibility number 3, the House bill has stimulus checks in there and the senators still amend it. And there you go. And finally, step 9, the president signs it a law. Which brings us finally to narratives and finally Purple Power Push. Narratives. Well, it's important to know that voting reform bill, which is not this. Some people have been asking me questions about it. Yes, there was a voting reform bill which concerned voting in the states across the country. That's not this one. That's not for stimulus. So don't worry about that. Second, the bipartisan thing, it's just a much of nothing. It's not going anywhere, because they have actually been asked very detailed, great questions by broadcast media. Have you worked on how to pay for it? And they said, no, we haven't even started. To which Democrats say, I see what you're doing. You're trying to not have the recon start. You haven't even gotten anything done. So it's just a delay tactic. Let's go to Purple Power Push, which is the most important thing of this broadcast probably. You need to add the House Ways and Means Committee Twitter handle, Richard Neal's Twitter handle, and all the committee members of the House Ways and Means that are Democrats. You want to tag them as well. In addition to your Democratic House members, Democratic senators, your progressive House and progressive senators, the Progressive Caucus, Jalapal, your progressive chair and vice chair, both in the House and Senate. Also retweet fellow viewers as well. Hashtag MSC, hashtag Purple Power. You're doing a great job. Keep it up. If you do not use social media, don't worry. It's the telephone that works well with you as well. Pick up the telephone, call your elected official, and say why you need stimulus. What is your story? Be professional and respectful and talk to their staff. Jay Powell says the Federal Reserve will be providing stimulus to this economy all the way into December. Well, Congress should do the same. 4th and 5th stimulus as well. So stay with me. And 7 seconds after this video is over, we go right into Overnight's Crypto. All you have to do is subscribe and like, and then after that, you can put your hands up and, do the Vogue, the check, the Vogue like the check was trying to do. Maybe you'll do it better. And it'll automatically send you into the next video. And with that, subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record. I want you part of this family. Hit that subscribe button right now. Like this video and consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Calcino VIP. Stay informed, stay focused, and I'll see you next on Overnight's Crypto.